Okay, hello everyone. My name is Vaji, and I'm head of the design and QC team at Logo Design Guru and Zillion Design. And today we are going to talk about logo design behind the scene. All of you guys are probably going through some kind of processes, some kind of mechanism to design the logos, and I hope you guys had a great success as well. So this session basically works towards sharing our knowledge with our colleagues and designers to make sure that we all learn all the time. Um, we will be having a question and answer session towards the end of the webinar. And if someone has any kind of questions, please save it for that time. Also, I am recording the copy of the webinar as well, which should be available within 24 hours after the webinar is done on the webinar registration page at Logo Design Guru. So let's begin. Okay, the art of the visual identity. Um, I spoke with a lot of designer, and one of the confusions that they have is logo. They call logo as a brand, which most of the people disagree because logo design is face of the brand. And of course, in order to brand something, you definitely need to have a logo as well. So first thing first that I wanted to clear is logo is not a brand. Its brand is something else. I will explain in the next slide as well. So first, I would like to you guys to understand the importance of branding as well, because over the time, these things have originated, and with the time, a lot of things have changed. So basically, similar to the logo that basically lets you help identify the product, the branding works in a similar fashion as well. That it helps you differentiate the goods or services from your competitors. That is the main definition. That is why we do branding. That is why we work with so many colors, designs, and everything to make sure it doesn't really look with anyone else's brand. It should not be similar. It should be always unique. What what brand does? Basically, a brand conveys a very clear message to the consumers. It could be, for example, if it's a baby product, so it should be conveying a message of health, safety, love, care. Similarly, if I'm working with the financial industry type, it will probably convey a message of security, and other things. So branding speaks up and also confirms your credibility as well. One of the important thing while doing the branding is, of course, branding is not really the topic here. I just want to clear a few things before we move on. Also, branding really connects you emotionally. It connects you with the brand somehow. Again, I'll give an example of, let's baby nutritions or baby diapers, or take a look at those products, how they capture the mother and a baby, and how they show a love and bond and those kind of things. So that's the whole idea. Who are you targeting? You're not targeting that baby who is infant, can't even move or speak. They're targeting the mother. So that's the idea behind the brand. And also, by doing those kind of things, emotionally connecting your buyers with you, you're basically helping them decide to buy this particular brand. And yet that basically helps you create the user loyalty as well. Now, one of the important questions, how did all started? How did we come across so many things today? If you may take a look, back in 50s and 60s, one of the major problem was people did not really recognize different kind of products. So if they did not like any of the product, they used to change the shop, not the brand, because the branding concept was not there at all. So if I buy a tea from one shop and eventually I don't like that tea anymore for some reasons, I would not ask for a different brand because I don't know the concept of the brand. I would rather change the shop. I would go to another shop. Let's try, a different shop. But back in 50s and 60s, that was the era when companies started understanding the importance of branding, and Procter and Gamble was probably the first one who took a step forward, and they initiated the branding awareness as well, followed by General Foods and Unilever. So this was basically the era between 1950s and 1970s, when these kind of things started happening. And today, of course, it has been changed a lot, but that is what we have inherited and then enhanced. Moving on. Now, what's the difference between logo design and branding? There's a simple example here. For example, we have a Nike logo, and it has a swoosh, and which represents the motion and speed. It was one of the Greeks, um, goddess of Victoria. That was the main inspiration behind the swoosh. And now the swoosh itself is a logo. Now the branding are the product packaging. When you buy any of the Nike products, whether it's a shoe, t-shirt, or anything, that comes with the packaging, and then you might see from time to time, whether on the YouTube or whether on TV, you might see some commercial as well. There are store designs. When you go to their stores, you will find a unique kind of designs as well, whether it's a website design, any marketing collaterals as well. So anything that helps promote that brand basically comes under the branding. Logo is just a swoosh, that's one entity, but branding is incomplete without logo. So, for example, if you call yourself either a logo designer or a brand designer, if someone wants to speak to you about the brand, the first question I believe you should ask, do you have a logo? That's the first question because branding is kind of incomplete without the logo. That's the first question that you guys should always ask. And if you're a logo designer, call yourself a logo designer. If you know how to make the brochures, marketing collaterals, how to do a lot of other things that help uh, clients to promote the brand, then you could call yourself a brand designer, because you can launch a whole campaign. You can design everything. Even you can design a vehicle wrapping, you can design bags, you can design anything that client wants in order to promote the brand. Then you can call yourself a brand designer. Uh, Moving on to history of designs, it's not really something that we started doing in 2000 or so. It has always been there. It's just that people had a different kind of names, different kind of ways to get it done. For example, the ancient Egyptian, those guys, used to brand their animals as well, to make sure that they understand which breed, family it belongs to, which group of animals are they. So they used to brand their animals as well. Similar is the case with the ancient Romans and Greeks as well. They used to mark their pottery to identify who is basically the main manufacturer of this. So it has always been there, but in a different forms, different shapes, and in a different capacities. But the idea has always been there. And of course, ancient Egyptian probably are, one of the most known people who lived on this earth, and they had all of those kind of things going on there. Of course, they had no computers, nothing else, but of course they had this concept over there to identify their brands using different kind of symbols. Okay, now this is now the whole idea of having this webinar. The idea behind this was to give you guys an idea of how would you be able to understand the creative brief, how would you be able to um, try and get something done that client really looks forward to have. It's like picking a direction, whether you need to go to north, south, west, or east. Which direction do you need to walk to? If you are walking towards the wrong direction, you're probably not going to win the contest. Or if you're working with your client, he's not going to pick your logo. He will take a lot of time. He will be giving you a very tough time. So walking in the right direction is the first and the most important thing that you need to consider. Of course, the first draft is not going to be picked. You might have to put in some efforts to revise, and because there's not just one decision maker out there. There's a whole bunch of guys who look at your logos and they have their own arts and they keep on asking to you to revise. That's a separate debate, but the idea is that you need to adopt to a better direction first. That's the most important thing. Now, there are a few things that has to be considered. First thing is understanding the creative brief. That's the whole idea. This is the 50% of the work is basically done when you completely understand the creative brief. So in next steps, I will let you know how to make it easy for you to understand the brief. You really don't have to put in a lot of efforts. It's just that you need to do a few things and you will be able to get there. And I'm sure that following those steps, you will definitely get to the point where you will have more finalization, or you wouldn't really be having too much hard time understanding what's going on there. The second point is to do the research. A lot of people I worked with, okay, they would ask, okay, what kind of logo do you need? It's a financial industry type logo. They would just start designing the logo. No, don't do this. You need to definitely put in a lot of efforts to, do the research as well. Then conceptualization as well. You need to think about the logo. You need to think what you're going to be drawing. And then production, how you need to produce the logo now. And then getting the feedback and delivery. So I will be speaking briefly about all of those points to better illustrate what we are looking forward to do. Okay, understanding the creative brief. Usually, this part usually deals with 7 or 8 different points on a different websites or on different level. You could probably end up finding more details as well, but I think if you do have the details listed here, if you have this much info, you could definitely kickstart the work. You wouldn't be stopping anyway. So the most important, the project name or the tagline, industry type. Industry type gives you the direction as well. You're going to be working with financial industry, or you're going to be working with any of the product that are associated with the babies or someone else. Then the description of the business. This part is definitely very important as well, because it does set up certain criteria as to what exactly makes this person different from others. What exactly are the kind of services he offers? What is his working pattern? So a lot actually comes out from business description. Then the type of design. The customer wants to go with the logo type or symbolic logo, or some kind of mascots or anything different. So of course this is important to ask your client the type of design that they look forward to have, because some people, two different kind of people who make up their mind before they start the contest. Okay, this is the kind of logo that I need. So they seek those options among a lot of submissions. The second type of client is usually the one who's open for any kind of suggestion, but they do set up certain directions based on the industry type or their likes or dislikes. Then examples, if you can also ask a client to give you at least a couple of examples, and why do you like those examples? What do you love about those designs, and what do you hate about those designs? This will again set up, what we are trying to do is we are basically narrowing the funnel towards our goal. That's what we are doing by asking those questions. And at Logo Design Guru and Zillion Designs, I think we have a good creative brief, and most of the question I picked it from there. Now, competitors logo, you definitely need to check competitors as well, as to see what are they doing, what kind of fonts they're using, what kind of colors they're using, what kind of symbols are they using, just for a better idea, because end of the day, your client is going to be one of the competitors as well. They will be standing in the same line. Then type of design effects. What kind of effects would you like to have? Whether you'd like to have a plain one or Web 2.0. Of course, these days Web 2.0 or logos with heavy shadows and gradients, and those are kind of like gone. I mean, it's 3-4 years ago that was on the peak, but it's not really being used at this time. People really love flat logos, economical logos for the printing as well. And there are so many different things where the logo goes, not just on the business card or stationery, it goes on the website. It goes can go on the app, and then it can also be viewed on several different devices as well. So the use of logo has been increased over the time. So we need to make sure it's proportionally 360-degree covered from all prospects. Then final question would be the choice of colors and fonts. Believe it or not, one of the most important thing again is the industry type and business description. Other questions are definitely supportive, and I'm sure those are definitely going to be helping you guys, understand the type of logo that customer wants. Moving on to next part, that was research part. Again, I've talked about a few things already, but let me just quickly go over. Industry type definitely is very important as well. For example, I've seen logo designers getting confused with HR company logos and recruitment company logos. They were confused. They were coming up with the same kind of symbol. They need to understand what HR firm does and what recruitment firm does. Recruitment firm hire people for you. HR, they take care of the hired people's policy, procedures, and other things. So sometimes people, or similarly, there was another industry type, finance and equity sales and trading. They were confused, between these two. And then sometimes people also not do their research work properly and confuse finance industry with accounting as well. So when you take a look at the finance logos and accounting logos, even on Google, you will be sometimes confused whether this is an accounting logo or is a finance logo. So you really need to study those industry terms, and those are very simple ones. Those are not really difficult. Those are very simple ones to understand. It's just that you need to understand the difference between both the industry types and what are their dynamics, how do they work. The next thing you need to understand is the demographics. Of course, this is really important question because, who are your clients? Who are going to be buying your product? Who are going to be getting services from you? That's definitely going to be giving you a better direction, whether it's the product belongs to the females or the males, or under the age group, let's say for example 20 to 30 or 50 to 60. So that gives you a better idea of how strong, solid, serious the logo needs to be. Again, you definitely need to learn about the product and services as well, because that eventually gives you, again, a better direction to step into. Sometime, the idea is we bypass small details in the creative briefs, which leaves a vacuum hole in our logo design, eventually results into not being picked as a winner. So understand, don't ignore anything. Every detail that is provided by the client, it's important. Something is missing, send the private message to the controller, tell them that you would like to have this piece of info that's missing, and it will really help me understand the directions. If you can lay out, answer this question, I will be more than happy to get the work done for you. That's a simple question that you could post those guys, and they will be more than happy to get you more details. And then what kind of goal client wants to achieve. Sometime the company, is it a non-profit company? Is it any kind of retailer? Anyone out there who's doing business, one aim is common, that's making money. So that's what they all want to do. How would they do that? Of course, there is a whole strategy involved, marketing involved, and everything else. But you need to look at it from, a standpoint that, okay, if it's a product and this product is in a shop on a shelf where there are 15 other products there, okay, now the logo and the branding really works well when it comes to this point. You need to understand, out of those 15, 20, 30 products, how would your product look more obvious? How would your product stand out? So that's the whole idea that you guys need to keep in mind. Again, learn about the competitors as well. It's definitely very important. And then one of the things that I'm going to be working on is you need to pick and connect certain important phrases and keywords listed by a client to better set up your direction as well. So in the next slides, in the next few slides, I will show you how that part works. Okay, moving on to conceptualization. Few designers that I met was the moment they read the brief, they just open their computer, open the Adobe Illustrator, and they start illustrating. I don't really get it. Maybe you spent 15 years, 10 years, 12 years in the industry, and you definitely had a vast amount of experience, and you wouldn't really need to put in a lot of efforts to think or come up with an idea, maybe that's an exceptional case, but you need to really make it a habit to think about the logo that you're going to be drawing. It's not just to pick the mouse and just start doing something, even you don't know what you're trying to do. You're just making different shapes and something works, sometimes it doesn't work. I think the better idea and the professional idea is to make sure you do put in some time and do the sketching. Look at the videos, look at the articles posted by senior logo designers. They will always be emphasizing on getting the sketches done before even touching your mouse. You need to get it done the analog way. You need to get it done on a paper because it saves you. It doesn't really consume time. It eventually saves the time because when you illustrate something, it takes more time. When you just work with a pen and pencil on the paper, it doesn't really take a lot of time. It's just that you need to, put your mind onto the paper. That's all you're trying to do, and you're just rotating the symbols, connecting different elements, objects, and seeing how it works. So once the idea is finalized, only then I think you should go on and get it digitized. In the first stage, when you design the logo, definitely, this detailing is definitely not important. And you just need to, as I said, you need to put in your mind on the paper. That's all you need to do. And don't worry about I'm a horrible sketcher, or I don't know how to sketch. But those are kind of like excuses, I would say. Nobody is really going to take a look at your sketch. They will look at your final product sketches for yourself, not for someone else. So don't worry about that part. If you're a horrible sketcher, that will still work for you. Digitizing definitely takes a lot of time. So if you're directly working on the logo on the screen, you might end up putting in at least 30 minutes or maybe 1 hour. That's the least I'm saying, 30 minutes to 1 hour to draw one concept. However, when you're working, on your paper, you could probably draw a lot of symbols together. You could join a lot of elements as well, and see which one is basically might work fine for you. While you're drawing, you could definitely, as a designer, you can definitely visualize how would it look on the screen with following colors. You could definitely do this. So again, I really suggest everyone out there to make sure they do use, they sketch their ideas before even thinking of doing anything else. Once you're done with a creative brief, you have everything that you need. Just grab your pen, pencil, and paper and start drawing it there. Do not draw it on the screen. And make it a habit. Production. Now it's time to give life to your sketched idea. But one of the important things is, if you're going to be at this stage, if you're going to be focusing on the colors or the fonts, this is not a good idea. It will be confusing you, because setting up the colors, I will let you know how to set up the colors. I will let you know how to set up the fonts. Don't worry about that part. One of the important thing at this time is to make sure you digitize, a rough sketch that you have created. You might have, like, for example, 1 or 2 or 3 different ideas. You can pick whatever you want to digitize it. It's your call. Don't add in your designs these days, unless it's required by client and they really want to see those kind of things. Don't add the drop shadows. Don't add too many colors. Don't try and put the shiny effects on the logos unless required by the client, or unless the product requires those kind of effects. Otherwise, avoid those things. Make it simple. Make it something that stands out in a minimum colors as well. Of course, every industry time has certain colors values, which we will talk about in next slides as well. And one of the important things is, don't overcrowd with your logo with a lot of objects until required. If you're designing a crest logo, or if you're designing any kind of mascot, or anything which may requires you to work on up to 10, 20 different kind of layers. Otherwise, if it's a symbol that client wants, a unique symbol, then stick to the minimum graphics. But yeah, it should have that creative element as well. One of the case studies we will talk about, and I believe this case study will cover a lot of aspects of logo designing. I will quickly read this for you so that you can pick some points as well. Sorry. Okay, this is a real brief that I copied from one of the contests from Logo Design Guru. Just copy this part, nothing else really. Just this part is like fit enough to understand how it works. I have my own way to get things done. You guys have your ways to get it done. But I believe this is a simplest and a very strong and powerful way to get it done. You cannot miss anything. You will be sticking to the details. You will be sticking to the standards as well. So let me just quickly read this for you. Okay, this was I'm not going to read just an overview. Okay, this is a company that basically go to hospital and they take pictures of a newborn within 24 hours after they're born with the parents and the family photojournalic lifestyle, not as a traditional studio style pictures. You guys might have had an experience as well. If you're a father or mother, you might have dealt with those kind of companies as well. So this is the kind of logo that they're looking forward to have, and they have given almost everything I would need to sketch the design. Okay, now what I'm going to do, here's what's simple. What I will do is step one, it's going to be emphasizing certain keywords. I will collect certain keywords and key phrases. Then I will refine them. The first one is a newborn. That's the first one. And then portraiture, baby and mother, baby, mother and father, which mean family. And style mean a casual style, not a formal studio style. So I have a word newborn, portraiture, baby and mother and father, lifestyle, casual style. Now, the next step, here's what I'm going to do. I will extend those keywords with and edit objects. Newborn can be explained as a baby, tiny, soft, young, offspring, infant. There are different words that I can use for one word, so I will list what we could do, what we can exactly use as an object. Look at the word in an objective manner, okay? Now portraiture, what is that? It's a picture, it's an odd memory, camera, shutter, anything that I can connect with this keyword, I will put it there. Baby and mother, what is that? It's a love, it's a bond, and a strength. Now, baby, mother, and father, what are they? It's a family, love, bond, and strength. Lifestyle, it's natural, casual, and posture, different postures. Now that I have a group of different objects that I derived from the keywords, now here's the next step I'm going to do. I will make combos, okay? This mail logo, it's a long process. Get it done for 2-3 times, and the third time you wouldn't even need to, list a lot of things. Okay, now the next step is I will do infant plus picture, camera, or shutter. Now I'm breaking down the objects, and combining them to see what best I can do with those. Then option 2, the second option that I would like to draw is a mother, love, and baby. And the third one is family, shutter, and love. That's what I would like to try. So I have now 3 different options that I need to work with. All I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to organize myself. I'm trying to stick to the code. I'm trying to stick to the line. What I'm going to do is not that when I'm holding a pen and pencil, I don't know what I need to do. Where do I start? No. I have everything in front of me that I need to work on. That's the easiest way to crunch your logo brief, convert the brief into an objective physical product. So now I have 3 different options I need to work on. Now, option 1 is infant per picture, camera, shutter. As I said, don't design your logo in colors. These logos may not really look good. I just pick those logos randomly because those really fit the profile. I just Googled those because I didn't really have a lot of time to customize those logos. So I just picked random logos because they were really fitting the profile. Now the first one is, let's say for example, infant, picture, camera, or shutter. So infant is now embedded into the camera in a very creative and nice way. That's the first option. And look at one thing that I'm not really focusing on anything. That's the symbol in a black color. No fonts, no colors, nothing. I don't want to distract myself with those kind of stuff that is, of course, very important, but it's the least important at this stage. I don't want to drain my energies on those. So mother, love, and baby. So now there's another creative way to put this in fact, the second logo is one of the winners. on Logo Design Guru as well. It's really a nice logo. So mother, love, and baby. So it's really integration of mother and baby in heart. That's really very creative, and I salute this designer. Option 3 is family, shutter, and plus love. So we have a family, we have a baby, and then we have a small, camera picture frames at the corner as well. So those are like the illustration I did. That's, for example, out of the words that I converted into certain objects. Then I broke this object into 3 different options, and I followed the words. I just followed the words. I did not do anything else. Okay, now once I have prepared my 3 of my symbols in black and white, and I don't require any other tweaks at this point, I'm kind of like satisfied with whatever I have done so far, I will move on to the next step. Now, the next step is coloring your logos. Now, as a designer, you guys do know that we have in color wheel, we have 2 different, primarily we can divide that into 2 different colors. First one cool, other one is warm. So how do those 2 colors work together to work with specific industry types, or how do colors explain different kind of ideas, different kind of emotions, and so on? If you may do some kind of research, you will definitely find a lot of info about the colors and what color you should use, why you should use that color, and what exactly is the meaning of that color. So sometimes there is a direct meaning, sometimes there is a hypothetical meaning as well. So if you guys are going to be walking around the colors more and more and more, not just through the Adobe, but just do some kind of research, you will have a better idea. You wouldn't even be thinking second time to change the color. You would just go on, pick the color, and you will be good with that, because you know that this color belongs to this industry and this color belongs to this logo. So here I tried and explain how these colors really work. For example, I would start from left-hand side. The black, it basically, if you may look closely, it blends from darker shade to the lighter shade of gray and black. This basically represents a sophistication and modernization as well. One of the top brands that we know is Apple, and their logo is all gray. However, there are like millions of colors they could pick, but they stuck with a black or gray. Doesn't really sound good, but look at the logo. It's really amazing, and it's very simple as well, and it really, they don't need to type an Apple or anything. The people, the whole world know this logo. The next one is purple. This one refers to creativity and imaginations as well, and a lot of brands out there are using purple color. Now the blue ones and their shades, you would only see one blue with one shade or so. Of course, the blues and purples and every color out there do have a lot of shades. So of course, I couldn't fit it all the shades here, so I just picked one color. Strength and trust. Look at all the giants, especially the companies selling hardware, softwares, Intel, HP, Dell, name it. All the big companies following with the blue, because blue refers to the strength and trust. Now the green one basically refers to the nutrition, nurturing, and success. Anything that comes under the nutrition or health, or anything that grows, anything that really has a level where they go up somehow. That is the green, the color. Optimistic and positive. The yellow refers to this kind of feelings. Orange refers to friendliness and socializing as well. One of the logos that's really popular, it belongs to Firefox. You can find a lot of other brands as well that are in orange, and you will see, when you look at the brand that has a specific color, try and do the reverse engineering, try and understand why have they used this color. You would end up with an amazing facts that, okay, wow, yeah, that's why they used it. So try and decode the colors, try and understand why have they used this particular color. Now the red one, Coca-Cola, it's a red one. It explains the love and passion and excitement as well. And that's why they use red color. So you guys can probably break this graph into a lot of other shades as well. I think you guys should have a shade chart, a similar shade chart, but on a larger scale. This is just for your understanding. You should have a similar, but the something that's on the larger scale, so you can always refer to that one before using any of the colors unless not given by clients. If clients are giving you the exact colors, you could definitely do it, use those colors. If not, then you definitely need to have some kind of chart stored on your computer that you can access all the time. Now, after I basically deployed the colors from my chart, this is how my logos look like. For example, I used a blue, and I manipulated this logo. As I said, I copied it from Google because it was fitting in the profile. Okay, I used the blue, shades of blue, and I also used a shade of red as well. Reason being is this refers to as a trust, passion, and love. So I would like to reflect those words into the logo through the colors. Second one, again, I picked a red, tone of red, and a tone of gray as well, and refers to love and modernization and sophistication as well. And the third one I picked from these colors refers to the modern, sophisticated, and success as well, and also love and passion and excitement is there. But of course, I can only put in 3 words, so a lot is going on in the third logo. Now I'm going stage by stage. First, draw the logo in black and white. That's the first step. Second step is to colorize the logo, okay, based on certain standards, not just pick random colors. And one of the important things here is none of the colors are really bright and sharp, because when you work on product that are somehow associated with the babies, usually you use the pastel colors. Pastel tones are the ones that are recommended. It's like a second last layer in the color gradient that you may see in your panel. Okay, now it's time to choose the font. There's a huge debate goes on the fonts as well, but primarily I believe there are only 3 families, and all the other fonts are basically derived from these families. So not getting into the details of the fonts, because fonts probably requires a whole presentation of 30 minutes or 40 minutes, but just to give you a simple idea that we basically can, if we talk about, there are a million of fonts out there, but if we may talk about the fonts, there are basically 3 fonts, and all of the fonts are basically driven from those 3 fonts. The first one is serif, the second one sans serif, and the script. Now the serif and sans serif, sans means no or without. So serif, the difference is, primarily one of the main differences, they are called, sometimes we call it a feet font with a feet. So any font that has those corners coming out from anywhere, those are serif fonts. Fonts that are pretty much straight and they don't really have any kind of feet. They're not cursive. They're just pretty much straightforward. Those are the sans serif. Sans means no serif. So no serif means no serif. Those are the French words. So French people are the ones who basically came up with those fonts. So all of these names are basically the French names. These are not the English names. And the third one is script. Of course, all of those fonts are really, really strong, but they have a lot of variations as well. Let's say, for example, in serif you do have the Times and Times New Roman. There is a whole family that you have a Garamond, and then you go on and on and on. Sans serif, there's pretty much a lot of logos out there as well. So don't confuse yourself with that part. So let's go on and I can tell you what is the best way to use the fonts. For example, let me just give you a quick example. I will use serif when it comes to, let's say, for example, industry signs that are really, really serious. For example, financial industry, magazines, newspapers, anything that requires a typical white-collar job with a tie and a suit. Those are the kind of industries that usually go with a set of fonts. Pretty much mature companies, old companies, they go with a set of fonts. Sans serif fonts, a bit modernized kind of companies, usually in IT companies or anything associated with the modernization or anything associated with the future. I mean, anything that's really something new or upcoming, or it's a new idea, those are the companies that usually go with sans serif. Script fonts are used in two different fashions. So the first one is either you use script fonts, or those kind of ornamental fonts for the baby products, or extremely elegant. For example, you might have seen giant, 7-star hotels using the script fonts as well. So those are the fonts. Even some kind of vehicles. Look at the Lamborghini logo. It's a script font, of course, very stylized, very different, but it's a kind of mix of serif and script font. If you may take a look, so that can be used in various industry types. Primarily, those are the industry that I said are the ones that are using those kind of fonts most of the time. Now, another thing here is the final version of my logo. You can see the colors. I picked the colors based on my color chart. Then I picked the font based on my definition of how and where we need to use a specific fonts. And also I paired that font with another font that's pretty much straight. It's a sans serif font at the bottom that says photography. And I've also mentioned the name of the font at the Rochester and Futura. Those are the two fonts that are basically working together. And I think I kind of like, I'm convinced that this is a kind of like balanced logo with the good colors and a good choice of fonts as well. Moving on to the next concept that we had is another one that we have. Again, I use script font with a serif as a photography at the bottom. Again, I think the choice of colors is good. It really is a strong logo. Colors are really conveying really good, and the font is working well with the logo as well, because the logo, if you may look, it's probably leaning towards the right hand side. There is something that I would like to share with you guys as well. If you may go, let me go back to this slide first. This logo is a camera with a picture of a baby. This is pretty much straight. It doesn't really leaning towards the right or left. It's centered. It's focused. It's not really drifting towards any direction. This is one of the reasons why I've preferred putting the content underneath the logo. Okay. Now the difference that you guys may see, this logo, the symbol is leaning on the right hand side. This is one of the reasons why I preferred putting the content on the right hand side, so that the flow looks kind of balanced. So you are a better judge of your work. If you see, it should go center, should it go on the right hand side? This is the one of the best ways to judge where your logo is leaning towards. Wherever the logo is leaning, your content should be there as well, because it goes with a perfect flow as well. That's my idea. You guys may do it differently. Okay, now that one again, I felt as if this is leaning on the right hand side, but I prefer putting it on the bottom because of more than a few reasons, but it depends on the client. You can always show them different version, put it at the bottom, then put it on the right hand side. You can also add some kind of separators as well in terms of lines or any vines or anything that really adds into it, but don't really overcrowd this logo. Just keep it simple, keep it straight. Considering the fact that this is my first draft, I think in the first draft the design is really good, and it's fitting the profiles, and the logos colors are really good as well. It's really working with the family colors and explaining a lot as well. And then also the fonts are kind of like, I use the cursive fonts as well. You can double check, there are a lot of good cursive fonts as well, but make sure when you download any of the fonts, they come with a usage policy as well. Try and avoid the fonts that are not really being encouraged to use commercially, because client might end up in a problem. So avoid the usage of the fonts that are not allowed to use for the logos or so on, because every font, as I said, when you download, they come with the policies as well. Okay, so that the font that has been used, it's a GE script and a geometrics. Again, I just spaced out some of the, increase the kerning of photography because I wanted it to spread across as much as I could, so that it really looks good. At the same time, I don't want to really make it look bigger because I want to people to focus on the brand name, and yet also focus on the word photography as well. That's why I changed the color to pink, because to try and create a balance as well. So this is just a mere effort, to let you guys know how would you be able to get it done. So again, going back to the step one is read the brief, pull out certain keywords that has been mentioned by the client, then convert that keywords and make them objective. From a simple keyword, try and list down the number of objects that can be used. When that part is done, now you can combine different objects in option 1, option 2, and option 3. Once you have a list of objects connected together, all you have to do is to sketch it nicely and reflect all the 2 or 3 elements that you have listed there, and try and sketch it in black and white. Don't put in colors, don't worry about the font, nothing else, just worry about a nice concept at this stage. Then next step is you should have a color guidelines based on the industry type with their specific and hypothetical meanings as well, so that you don't really have to worry about what kind of colors are you going to be picking up. It should be in your computer. No matter you're using CMYK, no matter you're using any of the Pantone colors or RGB, it doesn't really matter at this stage, because every color defines some kind of has some kind of meanings in there. So try and explore those meanings, so that you do have a library of your own. You really don't have to worry, because I've seen client designers, they may take 20 minutes to illustrate a concept, but they take another 20 minutes to set up the colors because they're confused. Okay, which color goes with which? And how do we combine those things? Is this the right color? Is it not? So 20 minutes goes towards picking, sketching the whole idea, and then 20 minutes to the colors. I don't really see it's justified. They could probably end up making another version, or if they had a document that could explain the meaning of the color, they could definitely save a lot of time as well. This is what I would recommend. And then also you should have in my computer, I don't know, probably I have over 800 fonts, but believe it or not, I don't really use those fonts. It's just I've gathered those fonts for no reason. I probably end up using maybe 100 fonts or 200 fonts that are really good, and I use them again and again and again. Of course, you should explore more ideas, more fonts, try different things, but it's just about utilizing your time in a better and in a smart way, so that you can be more productive rather than getting confused and getting lost into the idea of using different colors or the fonts or so on. If you have everything handy on your computer, probably you will be more organized, and you will have a better way to get things done. Finally, some few important things. Logo has to be memorable. It's very important. So sometimes when I look at the logos, and if they're so complex, too many objects are there, and I don't see really a use of that object, I don't really like that logo until it's required by the client. Now it's an era where we're living. We really need to come up with a simple solution to the simple problem. Sometimes people do like simple solution, difficult problem. So similarly, if the nature of industry demands you to come up with a very simple idea, do it in a simplest way. Look at all the big brands from Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Look at them, Coca-Cola or Apple or Yahoo or LinkedIn. Name any brand that is known by the world. Look at their logos. They're so simple. They're so memorable. They're having minimum colors as well. So why do we need to really put in so many options? It's not a book that we need to write. It's just a logo that explains three objects. Three objects can really connect in a very good creative manner. So let's just use 3 objects. Or you can make go up to 5 objects. But don't really try and make it too complex, because more objects are there meaning that people won't be able to recognize this logo when they see it printed on a product or anywhere else, because memorizing simple logo is the easiest way. Second important thing is, do not just start with the digitizing of your logo. Don't do that. When you have the brief, as I said, break down the words, objects, keywords, everything. Think about connecting those objects creative. That's important. If you're just going to be starting with the digitizing, that is going to be taking a lot of time, and I think it's going to be like not a good practice. So make sure you spend some time. I don't mind 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Just don't do anything. Just close your eyes and think about the ideas. Once you have some kind of idea, start illustrating on your paper, not on don't digitize. Just make some sketches from nice sketches. However, they may look weird, but you know what you're up to. Um, then when it comes to designing or digitizing the logo, again, don't focus on the fonts, don't focus on the colors, just do it in black and white and punch everything, properly, so that there are no extra layers, there is nothing, because sometimes these logos, are used not for the printing but for the vinyl. Uh, it's a different industry type, but I believe some of you guys do know what vinyl is, and it works with the line work. The plotter, it cuts on the lines, so your logo needs to have all those lines cleared up as well. Probably you can do it before sending the final files. Don't waste your time in the beginning, but you should do one thing and make it a habit or practice that your logo should be in black and white. Don't worry about the colors at this stage. It's too early. And finally, you definitely need to do a lot of research as well. As I said, it depends on the industry type and why and how it makes different with the competitors and other in similar businesses out there in the industry. So spend some time doing the research on the internet, learn more about the company and their values and mission and vision and everything. However, that I said, some of those things do add a lot of value and some of them add a very tiny little bit of value. But any point can be a turning point, a game changer as well. So make sure you do spend a good quality time when you design a logo, and yet at the same time try to work smart so that you can save some time, but step forward, follow the same steps as I specified here for a week or 10 days or 20 days, and you will understand how easy it becomes for you to get the logo done, and I believe this will help you with better success rate as well. I'm not promising anything here, but it's just that this method of getting a logo is very easy. You don't get confused with a lot of things, and then it offers you to be more organized as well. So probably I don't see. Okay, this is it from my end, and if anyone has any kind of question, anything, there are two ways. Either I can answer now, or I'll be more than happy to. Just give me one moment, guys. I'm just passing my email address to you. Okay, there you go. If anyone wants to ask any question, this is the right time. You can put a copy and paste your question on a chat box. If someone wants to speak, I can enable the audio as well. If you guys don't have any questions at this time, we can always send an email to me. And I would love to see the suggestions for the next webinar. What should be the topic, and what should be the idea we should be talking about. So any ideas or suggestions, we're more than happy to receive them. Sure, Anita, not a problem anytime, because I am also working with the copyrights and other design QC and a lot of other things as well. So anything that comes up, anything at all, you can always email it to me. You can call me as well. If someone wants to speak to me, I'm putting my number here, 525-5646, and my extension is 822. Just one moment. You should probably, all of you guys, this is what I would recommend, all of you guys should have, because you guys are working with Logo Design Guru and Zillion Design as a team. So you guys should know in Logo Design Guru and Zillion Design who is accountable for what. Because you guys are working with, a lot of you guys I know that were working with us for the past 5 years. You should have a phone number of everyone, contact details of everyone. Something comes up, send an email, follow up with them as well. So don't hesitate. You know, we are here for you guys. This webinar is, believe it, it's not for me, it's for you guys. Okay, I got a question. Give me a moment, let me read this just one more. Okay, one of the questions I have here, do you usually ask questions to your client during the creation process? Honestly, I'm not doing the logo design anymore. That's the first thing. The second thing is we usually read through the briefs that we have in the Zillion Design or Logo Design Guru just to make sure they have enough info. Sometimes clients really don't provide good sum of info, so what we do is we call them, we tell them that this is the kind of info that's really missing in the brief, and we believe the designers won't be able to come up with a better idea. So this is a behind the scene that we do from time to time. So yes, we do ask the questions, and some industry types are new. There are new businesses coming up as well, which you might not had a chance to work with before. So yeah, feel free, send the questions to the clients. And if you guys are really confused about the creative brief, don't just leave it there and move on to the next. If you really want to work with that one, send an email to support guys. Tell them that there is an info missing in the brief. Please ask client to provide this thing. It's your right to ask for this. So yes, the answer to the question is that you can definitely ask the question not just before the creation process, during the creation process as well. If the client is not responding, hold on, be patient, and then send an email to support guys. That's the answer. Then I have another one. Thank you for taking time out to share this information with us this morning. I will hold on to your email in case any questions come up as well. Yeah, sure, anytime. I'm here like from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. However, I'm in London, so it's a different time. Because of the daylight saving in USA, I will be working for a few days from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. But from 26th of March, we are also going on a daylight saving as well. So the timing is going to be from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Again, it's the same, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My email address is there. My phone number is there. Buzz me with anything that you guys want. Any kind of help, any kind of question, any kind of issues. I don't really mind. I'm a kind of person who really loves to share the info, so don't worry about that thing. There's another question. Can you give us the top 3 questions the designers should ask the clients understand the creative briefing? Can you give us 3 top questions? Okay. Okay, I have been asked to email one more question. What are the top 3 questions that I should be asking the clients? So we will answer those questions, and of course after this webinar we will have a video, recorded video that will go live on the webinar page. So if you want to share it with other designers, do so as well, please. And we would also like to come up with a blog post for the webinar. So this question that came from Kim about the top 3 questions, we would like to answer that in a blog as well. So thank you so much everyone for joining me today. It was really nice to have you guys on board. And please feel free to let us know what are the areas that you would really like to work hard to make sure you do have the improvements in your work, and send us the topics that you would like us to cover, whether it's a designing. I don't mind. I can pull up the Illustrator and I can do some tricks there. I don't mind either. So whatever you think that, okay, this is the area where probably we need to do some work, I will do the research for you. I'll come up with a better presentation and I will let you guys know. I don't really mind. So you can use either social media. You can use, we have a lot of platforms where you could share your thoughts. Facebook sounds one of the best ones. So share your thoughts, share your experience as well. And again, thank you so much for taking your time today and listening to me. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.